Welcome to our lecture. Today we will explore the Electronic Common Technical Document, or eCTD, and learn about its development through the International Council for Harmonization, known as ICH. The eCTD represents one of the most significant achievements in regulatory harmonization, enabling pharmaceutical companies to submit drug applications using a standardized electronic format accepted across major regulatory markets worldwide. By the end of this lecture, you will understand how the eCTD came to be, how it is structured, and how regulatory agencies review these submissions. This knowledge is fundamental for anyone working in regulatory affairs, as the eCTD forms the backbone of drug registration globally. Let me give you an overview of what we'll cover today. We'll start by examining the creation of the eCTD and understanding how ICH is organized with its current membership. We'll explore the ICH process for harmonization and trace the birth and lifecycle management of the CTD and eCTD formats. A significant portion of our discussion will focus on how eCTD submissions are actually made through electronic gateways like FDA's ESG. We'll also learn from the reviewers themselves by examining FDA's good review practices, which serve as a roadmap for industry. Finally, we'll dive into the technical specifications found in ICH M8 and FDA's Technical Conformance Guide. The CTD pyramid is the visual representation of how the Common Technical Document is organized. Think of it as a layered structure where each level provides increasing detail about the drug product. At the top sits Module 1, shown in orange, which contains regional administrative information. Importantly, Module 1 is not part of the harmonized CTD, it varies by region because each regulatory authority has different administrative requirements. Module 2, shown in purple, contains the summaries and overviews of the detailed information found in Modules 3, 4, and 5. This is where reviewers often start because it provides a condensed view of all the data. At the base of the pyramid, we have the detailed data. Module 3 contains quality and manufacturing information, CMC. Module 4 contains non-clinical study reports including pharmacology and toxicology, and Module 5 contains clinical study reports. Let's examine each module in more detail. Module 1 is region-specific and contains administrative forms, cover letters, proposed labeling, and risk management plans. Because different regulatory authorities have different requirements, this module is not harmonized. Module 2 is crucial because it contains the CTD summaries, the quality overall summary that summarizes Module 3, the non-clinical overview and summary that summarize Module 4, and the clinical overview and summary that summarize Module 5. Reviewers heavily rely on Module 2 to understand the submission before diving into detailed data. Module 3 covers quality, including everything about the drug substance, active ingredient, drug product, final formulation, manufacturing processes, stability studies, and container closure systems. Module 4 contains non-clinical study reports, pharmacology studies, pharmacokinetics in animals, and all toxicology studies. Module 5 contains clinical study reports, tabular listings, individual study reports, PK/PD analyses, and all efficacy and safety data from human trials. This map shows the global status of eCTD implementation. Countries shown in green are actively accepting eCTD submissions. This includes major markets like the United States, European Union member states, Japan, Canada, Australia, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. These countries represent the majority of the global pharmaceutical market. Countries shown in blue are in the process of implementing eCTD requirements. This includes Brazil, China, Egypt, Singapore, and several others. The key insight here is that eCTD has achieved remarkable global adoption, meaning pharmaceutical companies can use essentially the same submission format across the world's major regulatory markets. While the eCTD format is harmonized, the terminology for marketing applications varies by region, reflecting each country's regulatory framework. In the United States, we use NDA, New Drug Application, for small molecule drugs and BLA, Biologics License Application, for biological products. In the European Union and Australia, the term is MAA or Marketing Authorization Application. In Canada, Health Canada accepts NDS, New Drug Submission. In Japan, PMDA receives JNDA, Japanese New Drug Application. Despite these different names, the underlying eCTD structure for modules 2 to 5 is identical. This is the power of ICH harmonization. The scientific and technical content is organized the same way globally, even though administrative requirements in Module 1 differ. ICH membership has expanded significantly since its founding. The founding regulatory members were the EC, European Commission, FDA, United States, and MHLW/PMDA, Japan. The founding industry members were EFPIA, JPMA, and PHRMA. Since then, ICH has added standing regulatory members like Health Canada and Swissmedic, plus newer regulatory members including Anvisa in Brazil, HSA in Singapore, MFDS in Korea, and MPA in China, and others. Industry membership has also expanded to include BIO, Global Self-Care Federation, and IGBA. There are also numerous observers, including WHO, IFPMA, and many national authorities. This broad membership ensures that ICH guidelines have global relevance and adoption. Understanding ICH's organizational structure helps you see how guidelines like the eCTD are developed and maintained. At the top is the steering committee, which provides strategic direction. The real work happens in the assembly, which contains the secretariat, coordinators, and the ICH working groups. The working groups are organized into 4 categories represented by the acronym QSEM, Q for quality topics, S for safety topics, E for efficacy topics, and M for multidisciplinary topics. The eCTD falls under the M category because it spans all disciplines. ICH uses 4 types of working groups to accomplish different objectives. First, informal working groups develop concept papers and business plans before any official ICH harmonization activity begins. Second, expert working groups, EWGs, are the main engines of harmonization, developing new guidelines. Third, implementation working groups, IWGs, focus on existing guidelines, developing Q&A documents. Fourth, discussion groups explore specific scientific considerations, often producing ICH reflection papers. The ICH harmonization process follows a structured 5-step approach. Step 1 involves reaching consensus on a draft technical document within the expert working group. Step 2 is endorsement by the Assembly. Step 3 is the regulatory consultation and discussion phase. Step 4 is Assembly adoption of the ICH guideline. Step 5 is implementation, where each regulatory authority adopts the guideline into their own regulatory framework. 4 main ICH guidelines govern the eCTD. M4 is the overarching guidance that covers all modules and provides the granularity on document location and pagination. M4Q covers quality-specific information corresponding to modules 2 and 3. M4S covers safety-specific information corresponding to modules 2 and 4. M4E, R2, covers efficacy-specific information corresponding to modules 2 and 5. Each of these guidelines has accompanying Q&A documents that provide additional clarification. Let me walk you through the key milestones in CTD/eCTD development. In 1990, ICH was formed. In 2000, ICH finalized the original CTD guidance documents. The CTD became mandatory in the EU and Japan in July 2003, while FDA strongly recommended its use. In 2002 to 2003, ICH adopted eCTD version 3.0, and FDA began accepting eCTD submissions. Japan began accepting eCTD in 2004, and the EU followed in 2005. The scope of eCTD application varies by region. The United States has the broadest application. FDA requires or accepts eCTD format not only for NDAs and BLAs but also for ANDAs, INDs, drug master files, biologics master files, emergency use authorizations, and even meeting requests. In contrast, other ICH regions like the EU, Canada, and Japan primarily use eCTD for new drug registration applications only. This difference has important practical implications for global regulatory strategy. Electronic submission gateways are the critical infrastructure that makes eCTD possible. FDA's Electronic Submissions Gateway, ESG, is an agency-wide solution that accepts all electronic regulatory submissions. The FDA Acknowledgement System provides feedback at 3 stages. EMA's eSubmission Gateway serves a similar function for European submissions. Both gateways offer significant benefits: expedited automated delivery, electronic validation, auto-fillable forms, hyperlinked navigation, and search functionality. FDA's Good Review Practices, GRPs, are internal guidelines that tell CDR and CBR reviewers how to evaluate eCTD submissions. But here's the key insight for industry: these GRPs are publicly available, allowing you to essentially get inside the head of your reviewers. If you understand what reviewers are looking for, you can structure your submission to address those expectations proactively. Both FDA and EMA provide public access to their review documents for approved drugs. FDA's Drugs at FDA database contains drug approval packages for every approved drug. These packages include the summary review, medical reviews, chemistry reviews, pharmacology reviews, statistical reviews, and more. EMA publishes European Public Assessment Reports, EPARs. To use these resources strategically, search for drugs similar to yours, review what data the reviewers focused on, note any deficiencies raised during review, then structure your own submission accordingly. ICH M8 is the technical specification that puts the E in eCTD. While the M4 guidelines tell you what content goes where, M8 tells you exactly how to structure and format the electronic submission. Topics covered include submission contents and folders/file structure, naming conventions, acceptable file formats, the XML schema for message structure, controlled vocabularies, and context of use definitions. One critical point: M8 must be used in conjunction with Regional Module 1 implementation guides. The FDA eCTD Technical Conformance Guide is FDA's region-specific companion to ICH M8. Key sections include Section 2.2 on eCTD samples. Importantly, FDA allows companies to submit test eCTDs for feedback before actual submissions. Section 2.4 covers eCTD leaf titles. Section 3 reviews the organization of all modules and subsections. Section 4 covers issues and solutions. Understanding the scope and objectives of the eCTD helps put everything in perspective. The scope is clear: eCTD provides a harmonized format for registration applications. What it explicitly does not do is define content requirements. The objectives for industry include reducing time and resources to compile applications, easing preparation of electronic submissions, and enabling a single format for multiple regulatory markets. For regulatory authorities, objectives include facilitating reviews, improving communication with applicants, and simplifying exchange of information between regulators. Let me summarize the key takeaways. First, ICH created the CTD/eCTD as a response to the challenges of global drug development. Second, the 5-module structure organizes information logically. Third, electronic gateways like FDA's ESG and EMA's eSubmission system enable secure, validated transmission. Fourth, FDA's Good Review Practices and public databases are invaluable resources. Key resources to bookmark include ich.org for ICH guidelines, the M4 series for content organization, M8 for technical specifications, FDA's Technical Conformance Guide, and FDA GRPs.